There is systemic racism. There is systemic inequality. There is systemic injustices.
Thousands of children in the U.S. are taken out of school every year and often arrested for breaking minor rules.
There's no gap there. It's just like a big leap from school to jail. It's disproportionately targeting specific youth. So minority youth, youth of color.
Students of color in Florida are 2.5 times as likely as their white peers to be removed from classrooms and forced into the criminal justice system. And that's not because students of color misbehave more often. The CRDC found that children of color receive harsher punishments than white students for the same exact infractions.
And until we begin to fight for what is right for all people, this change will be much more difficult to come upon.
African American children represent 32% of children who are arrested and 42% of children who are detained, even though they only make up 15% of the population. This is known as the school-to-prison pipeline. The PACE Center for Girls is trying to dismantle it.
That's kind of where it starts, is really validating, empathizing, and acknowledging, that this is real, this is happening. You are not crazy for thinking that, you were targeted or that you were unfair or that you were at a disadvantage, because all those things are absolutely true.
PACE is an educational program that's helped over 40,000 teens cope with trauma.
You're realizing that the kid doesn't have support and they hold on to you for that support. It's an honor, but it also hurts to know that a kid is experiencing so much hardship at such a young age.
Some girls entering the PACE program experienced sexual abuse or neglect. Others got in trouble for skipping school because of financial hardships or drug use in their families. Sometimes conditions like ADHD may have been undiagnosed for years, causing students to struggle in school.
Could be very smart, right? But have trouble applying his or herself in school. And, the teacher's like, oh, this kid's causing problems, getting distracting other, students. And say over time, it's never recognized. The condition is never recognized. And that causes stress inside of the student. And say that student don't know how to deal with the stress, so it comes out in other ways.
Stephanie came to PACE because her grades suffered after her dad died.
I didn't experience anxiety until my dad passed away. So when I was in public school and I wasn't talking about my emotions, just walking in the lunchroom was, overwhelming. I couldn't even take 10 steps in the lunchroom.
PACE provided her with the support she needed.
I was very isolated when I first got there, but I started opening up with my group. And then after that, getting counseling.
In addition to giving girls an alternative to traditional schooling, PACE also provides in-depth emotional and psychological counseling for the girls and their families.
They start having dreams and aspirations. They start being motivated. They start working towards their goals.
Thanks to PACE, Stephanie now has an exciting career ahead of her.
I definitely see myself being a senator.
Over 90% of girls who graduate from the PACE program will continue their education or get a job.
When all they're bombarded with is how amazing they are, what they can do, what they can achieve, all the skills that they have that are valuable, can really start to change the way they view themselves and ultimately will change the way they interact with the rest of the world.
Reporting for Florida Focus, I'm Peyton Kyrol.